It may sound a little excessive, but go over the rules every single day for the first 6 to 8 weeks, truly every single day, just to really help kind of ingrain it in our kids' brains, basically. Hey there, friend. I'm Katherine Barker, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about if classroom rules really are that important, plus the best way to create them. I'm going to spoil it. Yes, classroom rules are important, obviously, but what's really more important is how you create your rules and how you communicate your rules to your students. So quick overview of this video. So we're going to be talking about how to determine the rules best fit for your classroom, how to best create those rules and really write them out, and then how to best teach them to your kiddos. So people will ask what rules do I even choose, right? How do I know which ones to choose and which ones to leave out? So I would say choose the rules that make the most sense for you and for your classroom and for your particular grade level. So, and even maybe your personality. So maybe if you like more of a calm, quiet classroom, you would want the rule use inside voices for your particular class. So what are the best practices for creating classroom rules? First is just keep it simple. So when I say keep it simple, I mean, first of all, keep it simple in the wording of your rules. So we want it to be developmentally appropriate and it makes sense to our kids. Make it just simple language, elementary friendly lingo. And also we want it to be no more than 3 to 5 rules. Sometimes if you get over that, it becomes too much and the kids can't always remember them. So if you really want to kind of have the core of what your classroom, the foundation that your classroom really is built upon, and just pick 3 to 5 that really are essential for your class. The second thing is keep it positive. So first, keep it simple. Next, keep it positive. So in your wording of your rules, it's really important that we word it to have more of a positive twist. So an example of that would be, we don't want to say no running in the classroom. Instead, you would say use walking feet. And the reason why we want to have that positive language is because studies just continue to show that kiddos and just people in general just do better when they're working towards a goal rather than avoiding something. So that's why we want our rules to have a positive end goal that we want our students to work towards every day. And the third thing is keep it specific. So keep it simple, keep it positive, and keep it specific. So you want to say exactly the behavior that you want to see, right? Not something super kind of general. You want to say exactly what you want to see. Keep your hands to yourself, right? Very specific. So I'm just going to share some of my favorite personal rules to just kind of give you some ideas that I love to have in my classroom. So the first rule is raise your hand to talk, right? It's just a staple. It's essential. We got to have that one. The second is keep your hands and feet to yourself, or you could word this saying use helpful hands and feet. I think it's an essential rule for elementary kiddos because they just kind of can be very impulsive and struggle with keeping their hands and feet to themselves. The third rule that I like is follow directions quickly. Another rule that I love is be kind. And the last rule I love is do your best and forget the rest. That was a favorite saying of mine in my classroom. Okay, so let's jump in how to best communicate your rules to your kiddos. It may sound a little excessive, but go over the rules every single day for the first 6 to 8 weeks. Truly every single day. We would go to our learning areas, we would play for 15 minutes, then we would come back to the carpet, and I would say good morning. We'd have a good morning greeting, and then I would, boom, let's go over the rules. Stand up, we're all going over the rules. Just to really help kind of ingrain it in our kids' brains, basically. So I loved having us saying them chorally as a class. So it would look like, okay, let's stand up. And I would say rule number 1. And the rest of the class would say, raise your hand to talk. Rule number 2, follow directions quickly, and we'd have gestures with them. So you're gonna make sure you have gestures with them so it just kind of helps it stick better. And you can even later on make it a job for a student. So maybe you're not the one doing leading, reading over the rules. You could have a student, they take the pointer and they point and they lead the class in going over the rules. And it just kind of adds a little bit more of an ownership for them. And if you're interested in learning more about how to best use classroom jobs, Stick around because my next video is all about how to use classroom jobs to create a strong classroom community. Okay, so you really are gonna feel like a broken record, but yes, you're gonna do it over and over again to really just help make it stick with your kiddos. And I would always write in my sub plans, whenever I had a sub, I would tell them go over the rules because it helps the sub know what the rules are and to remind the kiddos, and helps to remind the kiddos of the rules. And if ever we were having like kind of just a rough day, I would tell my kids, okay, let's have a chat. And we would sit down and we'd have a chat and we'd go over the rules and we talk about, are we following the rules? What can we do differently to follow the rules? So you can always use them, like always come back to them because they really are kind of like that foundation framework for your classroom management. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We talked about how to determine the rules best fit for your classroom, how best to create them, and how to communicate them to your kiddos. And don't forget to stick around for my next video on how to best use classroom jobs to build a strong classroom community coming up next. That's it for now, my friend. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, happy teaching.